guys, we're back with Messy on Purpose, and we're going to talk about something that's been bothering me a little bit lately, which is I have a situation with my dad where he tends to think that he is sick all the time. Everything is dramatic, and I've tried to help him over and over and over again, and the biggest thing is he just needs to change habits. He's super depressed. There's a lot of stuff. So I'll dive in that in a minute. But basically, this episode is going to be about dealing with people who you want to help, who you truly care about. But at some point, you have to realize that they don't want to change their habits. They don't want to improve their life. And no matter what you say, they're never going to change it. So you have to just kind of distance yourself. It doesn't mean that you don't care. It doesn't mean that it doesn't bother you. It means that you just have to for your sanity, because nothing's going to change. And I don't know. Like I was just telling you the other day, I was like, I really want to talk on this because I think it'll help people, because I've dealt with this a lot in my life, and you know me. I want to help people.
Like a fixer.
Yeah, I just constantly want to fix everything. I mean, the first thing I do when somebody comes to me with a problem is, what's the solution?
What's the solution?
That's go-to. And when somebody doesn't want to change anything and you ask them, or you not even ask them, you tell them over and over again how to fix something. And I've had this with personal training, helping people in that. And so this one with my dad just kind of really kills me. So I doubt he'll listen to this, but if he listens to this, I'm sorry, Dad, I have to talk about it.
Listen up. I'm trying to help you.
But so he has been saying, he just, every time he calls, it's always a disaster of some sort, right? Something's wrong with him. He has to have surgery. It's, life-threatening, which it's usually not, and very dramatic, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, well, what can we fix that you can't fix by going to the doctor and being prescribed drugs?
Yeah.
And he eats horrible. I guess his diet right now, which I was just told the other day when I was texting you, is peanut butter sandwiches and soda. Yeah. And last time I was at his house, I think I told you about this, but there was like a pallet of Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew, like one of the, I don't even see people drinking Mountain Dew outside of the Midwest. It's so bad. And
listen, I love me a Baja Blast.
Oh, really? But that's Baja Blast. I'm talking about neon green Mountain Dew. Baja Blast is everywhere.
Well, you saying that, do you think that because you having the background in nutrition and stuff like that, and you saying him, he seems like he's depressed and stuff, do you feel like that's a coping mechanism for him, is the Mountain Dew or the things he eats and stuff makes him feel good for that moment? So it's
no, I think he just likes it, and he's super down, he's very depressed, and I think a lot of that was he put a lot of his happiness in when he was married to my mom. And ever since then, it's been this downward spiral, and nothing's ever really made him happy. And I think putting your happiness all in one person is a very, very dangerous thing to do.
Unless it's yourself.
Yeah, unless it's yourself.
Yeah.
And even you with kids, I feel like if you put your full happiness just in your children and not in yourself,
I can't, because they're gonna have their own life. They're gonna leave.
Right.
I have one that's about to leave. I love them, but my happiness can't be determined by another person, or that person leaves your life. Let's be honest, none of us are gonna live forever. Everybody's gonna leave your life, or you're gonna be leaving the people you love. Then you're without happiness. And when him and your mom got divorced?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in 2008.
Yeah.
It was when I graduated. And, yeah, so ever since then, it's just he's even with somebody new, and, it's still, and I guess he just sits on the couch, doesn't do anything. I've tried to the biggest thing, I was I've told him multiple times, that you need, not just the nutrition thing. I've told him that he needs to get up and get some activity, and he needs to have a hobby that keeps him busy, something, that that you enjoy. I mean, he doesn't
some passion.
He used to hunt. He doesn't do that anymore, and now he says his shoulder and whatever. So but he doesn't do anything he enjoys anymore. Like, find something you enjoy. Yeah. And I think he just kind of gave up. And now I'm at the point where I've talked to him multiple times about all these things. And now it's to the point where when we're on the phone, if I bring up one of these things, he hurries off the phone. And now he doesn't really talk to me much at all. And the only reason I got, like, the update the other day was because I texted happy birthday to his, I think they're married. I don't really know. Everything's so secretive. But yeah, so I talked to her, and I told her happy birthday, and then obviously just asked how he was doing, and then that's when I got the update, and I was just like, I'm throwing in the towel. It like hurts me to see someone give up, especially when you care about them. But at the same time, why should I stress so hard to try to make someone change that's not going to change?
Hard.
Like,
it's very hard because I feel like we are so similar in so many ways, but also I'm the type of person that I'm like, what? I have a hard time giving up on people. Like, I have a hard time because it's like, I know that sometimes the best help we can give somebody is by stopping the help. Sometimes people have to, like, fall and learn hard lessons in order for them to change things. But hearing about your dad, it's like, I mean, he's older. He is having health problems. Like, he has the nutritional stuff that he needs help with, which he's not wanting the help. But it's like, it's a tough spot to be in because you don't want to, like, give up on the help. But it's like, what can you really do?
Especially because I live.
You're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, not being there. Like, where is he at?
Iowa.
So what, is that, like, seasonally colder and, like, drearier there too?
Oh, it's disgusting all the time.
So
in the
summertime,
that
situation,
it's completely humid and gross, which you're familiar with humidity
Yeah.
where you're from.
So he's probably not spending a lot of time outside and getting vitamin D and getting the feel good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. What about your siblings? Like, are they more involved with him and, like?
Not really. Not on that extent of helping. I mean, my sister Jamie helps, but I shouldn't say helps, but she communicates with him and, like, tries. But what can you really help with?
I feel like the older we get, the more stubborn we get too, and sometimes it's hard to accept help from, like, your children because it's like, oh, I'm your dad, like, why are you giving me life advice? I'm your dad.
I wish I knew, like, I wish I could say that was the reason, but I don't think it is. I think it's just he doesn't want to, so he's not going to.
So have you had, like, conversations with him about how you feel about it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Come on. You know I'm an open book. Like, I'm just going to tell it how it is.
But without...
Feelings don't matter.
Hold on, but without nagging or, like, anything like that. Like, hey, Dad, I'm worried about you. Like, I don't want anything to happen to you.
My nagging isn't just, like, do this until it gets to the point where that's all I have left to say is, like, you're not doing any of the things I told you. The beginning is, like, why would you want to be like this? Like, we obviously care, and we want you around, so you have to make these changes so you can stay around, like, breaking it down. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it's hard to explain the mindset there, because it's a lot of people where I'm from. It's a, like, small town mind frame, and it's not easy to get those people out of it. That, I mean, the only reason I have changed is because I was kind of a black sheep there anyways. I've always been a little, like, I thought a little different, and I think that's why leaving made sense. That's why me and Justin connected, like, but, yeah, it's just, I mean, it kind of is what it is, so, and it's not that I give up on people easy, like, I used to never. People would screw me over. I mean, I've borrowed, or not borrowed, I let people borrow money so many times when I was younger and never seen it back. Like, there was so many different ways I've gotten screwed. And honestly, like, just getting older, getting confident in who I am, understanding that not everyone is in the same frame of mind.
Yeah.
And just knowing that I have to pick my battles. And some people aren't worth fighting. You know? It's, my sanity is more important. And even goes back to, like, I'm even at a point where I think about things like growing up. My parents did what they knew best. It's not that they were bad parents, but there's a lot of things that they could have did differently, or things that they could have taught me, but they didn't know themselves. You know what I mean? Like, it's things that, like, you look back on it and you judge when you're younger. And then when you get older, it's just like, I have to look at the fact that, like, even going back home and the way I get treated when I go back home by certain people, it's all they know. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that, I wouldn't even say some of them mean it. But like, it's just that's just where they are, and they don't know any differently, and they may judge me for the things that I do and the things that I try, and you know, stuff like that. But I mean, that's all they're capable of, and that's fine.
And something I've realized, because my mom's family also came from a small town in Arkansas. Well, that's where they settled down and lived. That's where they had their farm and stuff. Is there's a lot of, and I don't mean any disrespect, because I've grown up in the sticks. I claim Mississippi. It doesn't get more country than that. But when you're in a small town and you haven't been exposed to a lot of the things in the world, there's an ignorance. And by ignorance, I don't mean anybody stupid. I mean ignorance purely like they don't know anything else. And like for your dad, when I think about him, it's hard because I think about it from like a parental perspective, and also being in situations like that, because I've lived places where it's so freaking depressing. Like, I can specifically tell you places we lived where it's like, it feels like it drains your spirit out of your body because there's nothing going on. Everybody's doing the same thing. You're seeing the same people. And I think we talked about in a previous podcast, like when you get to a certain age in your life and you realize you're like at the top of the hill and coming down, I think at that point you have to kind of be self-motivated to like, I still have life to live, right? Just because my kids are older and they're going on with their lives, or, you know, I'm on the downward slope, like, I don't want to give up. I still have life to live. This is just a new stage of my life.
I think it's interesting that you say like downward slope too, because I don't feel like it's a downward slope. I think you have your younger years, obviously you feel better, like you're more resilient, but like it's not really a downward slope. You can feel better, you can look better as you age too. And I know there's a point that changes, but like you can continuously do that. And I don't know if you're talking about yourself being a downward slope, but like
I don't mean for that to be offensive to anybody. What I mean by that is, you know, so like if you look at your life as a mountain, your younger years, your teens, your 20s into like your mid 30s or so is going up that, and you hate like your midlife based off the lifespan of a human being. And then you're like, you're coming down on the other side.
But you're not though. You're looking at it maybe from an energy level you are, but not from a life and like an experience level. If you look at it
like lifespan.
If you look at it though, you should be constantly coming up, and then eventually you just die, right?
Girl.
Because you should be constantly growing every single year. It doesn't matter what age you are.
With that.
You know, and you should be progressing. Yeah. So you're progressing in your career every year. Every decade. You're in a different different place, and
You
it
have
should be
different
better.
stages of your life.
Yeah, so I don't think anything is ever a downward spiral. Once you get to the age where you're retired, now you should be really living life, right? You should be going on trips. You should be enjoying it. Justin's grandparents, we encourage them all the time, like, get out there and spend your money. You know, go on cruises, like, enjoy life, because it's not a downward spiral. You're not going back down. It doesn't just
I didn't say downward spiral, people. I said you're coming down the slope.
But
and
we're
the
not.
only thing I mean
We're going
by that,
up.
wait till you hit your 40s, girl.
I'm 35. I'm going to be 36 this year. And
just your energy, like your body feels a little different. You feel more tired because you, like, mentally, emotionally, physically.
girl, I feel tired in general, just my entire life, because all I've done is go, 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 go.
That's how I feel too. I don't mean it offensive. And had I said it in my 30s, I probably would have found it offensive, because I remember somebody, I think I was turning like 38 or 39, and somebody was like, oh, you're like, what did they call me? What is the term? Not middle age, but they were like, oh, you're past like halfway in your life. And I was like, oh, like I took it the same way, like, what?
But I'm not even taking it that way from me. I don't even care.
Yeah,
like,
for me now, it's like, I understand like half of my life is gone. Based off my age, half of my life is gone.
I hate people that say that. Stop looking at it like that.
She's saying she hates me, you guys.
Sometimes I hate what she says.
She might be on her period.
I'm actually really close. My boobs are very sensitive.
I knew it.
But no. Like, I'm trying to, like, when Justin says that too. He thinks because he's a dude, he's halfway through already.
Let me explain the reasoning. Because you get to a certain point where I'm okay with saying that, because I've had the first part of my life. And that first part of my life was my teenage years, my adolescent, my going to college, having children, raising my children. I'm okay with that part of my life. It's coming to an end. My kids are growing up. My kids are going off on their own and stuff. I'm very excited about this next chapter of my life. Not my children, growing up and leaving me, but just getting to discover who I am again without just being, somebody's wife. I'm always going to be a mom, but not where my whole life is revolving around that. So, like, talking about golden years and stuff like that, I'm excited about it.
See?
And I've come to terms
That's a positive.
with that.
That's an up. Up, not down.
If you
You're
were
not
running
going
a
down.
marathon and you hit 13 miles,
Yeah,
would
you're
you not
almost
be
to
like,
the finish line.
yeah, exactly.
But it
You're
doesn't
halfway
mean
through.
I'm not on a mountain when I'm running this marathon.
You might be.
It's a
depending
straight
on
line.
where the marathon
it's a
was.
straight line.
They have marathons
called
in like the mountains.
It's called a
and stuff.
timeline, and it goes like this.
It does. It does.
There's no up and down. Every chapter is different, and everyone should be appreciated. Although I don't appreciate my 20s, because that was a mess.
I would never go back to my teens and 20s for anything in my life.
I know people
That's why
that
I'm
still like glory days or high school. Like, get out of
No,
here.
I'm telling you, I felt more comfortable. I had a hard time in my 30s. I had a hard time turning 35. And then it was like, oh my God, when I was 39, I'm going to turn 40. I have had an easier time aging in my 40s, because it's like, man, I've been through a lot of stuff. I'm still standing here, like, I'm looking forward. But all of that being said, it is very easy, and this is something we can agree on, when you have the mentality that you are in those golden years and later in your life, your children are grown, they're off doing their own things and stuff. What is my purpose now? And I think, and I don't know your dad, so I don't want to like presume to know what he's thinking, but I think it's very easy for people in that stage, especially with failed marriages and stuff like that, to get to that point where it's like, my life is done.
Well,
like
with
I've
him,
lived it.
I really do think that he put everything into one person.
Mm-hmm.
And
which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. And then that relationship ends, and it's like...
And to be honest, I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say that thought.
We're going to skip over that part.
Bleep.
Question for our lovely viewers, if you're watching, do you think it's offensive to say you're on the downward slope if you hit a certain age, or do you think you should always be like on an upward slope? I don't find it offensive. I don't mean to like offend anybody else. I think
Stop thinking negatively.
It's not a negative thought. It's realist. You're like, okay, half of my life
I don't
is
even
over.
think there's like, I don't even think there's like an up. Like, I don't feel like there's an up because how is it an up? Every decade should just be better, but like it's just a line.
Yeah, but it's
I bet you could die at 35.
Your entire that's true. That's
you
true.
know, like or
I'm
21
based off the average lifespan, and where your life is constantly peaks and valleys. So when I use the analogy of the downward slope, I'm simply talking about the lifespan, because I think, if anything, my life and my love for myself and my appreciation and stuff has grown over the years, and I think it'll continue to do that throughout your life. I saw my grandma, almost 90 years old, and she was the happiest she had ever been in her life, having her grandchildren, having her great-grandchildren. Like, I don't mean to take anything away from the later part of life. You just realize you're getting closer to the finish line at that point.
Well, like looking at it like a timeline, you should just look at it like, these are my goals. This is what I want to do in this period of time, right? And like working towards those and always bettering yourself. There shouldn't be like a deadline, right?
Yeah, but I think that
at the same time,
harder when you hit like your 60s and stuff. How old is your dad?
I don't know, like 60.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, my dad and my stepmom, like, they have a lot of fun. They'll go out and they'll do their hikes and stuff like that. I can't really say that they have any, like, goals that they're working towards. Because
my dad doesn't even leave the little 10%.
See, that needs to be a goal. But
it won't work. It won't work. I've tried. He was driving in town to go to work at Menards for a little while, and then he crashed his truck, and then it was like the whole thing. But anyway, I was like, he can't drive anymore because he had like a seizure when he did it, and like I was like, you totaled your truck, so you got paid out on that. Do not buy another truck because you can't drive anyways. Quit the job that was paying for the car payment, and find a hobby.
I mean, I think that realistically speaking, if you're at a point where you can manage financially to not have to work, I think that's the time of your life that you get to enjoy just being alive.
Not when you're not doing anything.
It's true.
Like that's the problem is like people don't, they get the freedom and then they don't do anything with the time.
Yeah. Which is sad because they talk about the fact that we work all of our life to have money and buy things and, save up and buy the house and everything. And then by the time you get to the point where you have all the money where you can appreciate, you're too tired and you're like, my God, like I worked my whole life.
I was thinking about this the other day, and this is just a random thought. But so I was thinking about how I keep myself so busy and I do all of these things and I try to fit in everything. Yeah. And honestly, like I would prefer life that way. I know everybody's like, oh, you need rest, or whatever. Like, you need relaxation time, blah, blah, blah. I don't think you need it. I feel like life is more fulfilled when you fill it with the things that you want to fill it with. And that's what I do. I mean, some things it just drains me. I mean, shoot, this freaking podcast drains me sometimes. But, like, it's still, I'm working towards something. I'm trying to build something, and I want something to grow. And I also want my relationships to stay well. Like, I want us to do girls' night. I haven't scheduled it yet, but it has been in my brain and on my to-do list.
Yeah.
And most of that is just because we're both working like crazy. And maybe after tax time and after you have a break, because like right now. But anyways, and like things with Justin, like I didn't want to stay up and do a comedy show, but like we did, and I'm glad we did it because we need that time together, even if both of us aren't even feeling it on the way there. You know what I mean? And like squeezing all that stuff in, or something is, this is so silly, but like something as like prepping for my next day. I make Justin's coffee before I get ready for bed, so that way all I have to do is turn it on in the morning before I go to the gym. Laying out my clothes to make the morning better. All of that stuff that I do right before bed is like 30, 40 minutes of stuff that I need to do. Or something as simple as doing the dishes and not letting them pile up. All of these things that I fill my day with all have purpose in some way. And I might be tired, but I'm way more happy if I do that than sit on the couch and watch TV.
That's true, but for other people, that sounds like chores and awful.
But is that because they don't have like a sole purpose that they're working towards? You know what I, like if you have something that you really, really want, not just I want this, right? Like not I wish someday or those. If you have something you really, really want and you're working towards it and you have full purpose every single day to wake up and work towards that, you're going to have the motivation and the determination to do it. If you don't have that, if you don't have that passion, I feel like that's when you become the couch potato where like you go to your 9 to 5, you come home, you lay on the couch and you turn the TV on. There's nothing that goes on between that.
I think for me, like I work really hard. I get up early every morning. My day is chaotic. It's go, go, go. But then like, you know, this past Sunday we went to Bullhead. We were with family. We went down to the river. We were just skipping rocks. Then we went up into the mountains. Like that kind of stuff for me, because I'm so used to go, 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 go all the time. Having a day like that is so therapeutic.
But that's still doing something. So like my example for that was not that it wasn't in nature, but we went to the comedy show. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing. I'm still filling my day up and like making time for those personal or interactions, but you're still filling your day up. You might not realize it, but you think of it the same way I do.
Yeah.
Your day looks different than mine, but at the same time, it's very similar if you really just kind of categorize it. And you work, and then you spend time with family, and you make time for the things that you want to make time for. How often do you sit on the couch and watch TV without your kids, without like specific things in mind, like watching a movie with your kids?
Are we including watching a movie with the kids or not?
Not including it, because that's quality time to me. So like if I put my computer away and I don't work and I sit on the couch and watch Kill Tony with Justin, that's quality time that I'm making. That's not just me lounging and being lazy. You don't, do you?
I mean, it's like I have a few shows that I like to watch with Nevaeh, like Love Island.
And that's quality time with your daughter.
But for me, by myself, like I get so busy at work, it doesn't happen. I might put the TV on when I'm falling asleep or something and have background noise, but I don't really have a lot of time where I can just like sit there and watch TV. So
point made.
It's true, but I will say,
I just think
later in life,
purpose.
I would love to have like a cabin up in the mountains where I could just like listen to nature, go for walks. Like I would love to. You already have action planned in your relaxation.
I mean, so you see what I'm saying though? Like it's not like mindless things. Like sitting down by yourself and turning the television on is just trying to keep yourself busy. And then 9 times out of 10, what do? We grab our phones. Now we're on our phones scrolling through social media and doing, you know. So the problem is, I think if you don't have purpose and you don't have something to work towards, all you're looking forward to is that relaxation. Yeah. And I put quotes on that because I think it's BS. I think it's just an excuse to not do anything because you have nothing planned.
That's true. But I do think, I'm not going to lie to you, some of my favorite days, like for Mother's Day, when the kids are like, what do you want? I want to lay in bed.
But you
want to lay in bed.
Maybe you just want to sleep
some breakfast.
You just want a calm day, which is fine. But it's still, you still have things in there that you're doing. And you don't even realize
my eyes and eating the food that's brought to me in my bed.
And spending time with your kids.
Yeah, it's true. But us talking about all that, does your dad have like social media? Like, does he engage in that kind of stuff? Like, or is he like I sit on my couch and watch TV type of person?
Oh, he definitely watches TV. I don't even know if he really knows how to work social media. I think he has a Facebook page, he has a Snapchat, but like he doesn't post anything. I don't even know if he's just lurking on there. I can't tell you how many times he's like, I got a new phone. You have to re-add me. I'm like, re-add you on what? And he's like, Snapchat. And I'm like, can't you just log into your account?
He starts a new Snapchat every time he gets a new phone.
And how am I supposed to add you? Because I don't even know what it is.
Oh, and God bless him for having Snapchat.
I hate that app, by the way, so much. I would delete it if it wasn't for him. I didn't have it until he asked me to get it.
I'm not joking with you. We had a client the other day, and I was like, I don't understand Snapchat. I think I'm too old, like, to get the whole Snapchat concept, because she was talking about how she has it for the filters. And I was like, okay, I can understand, like, you like to have some cute little filters or whatever, like, but I was like, what's the purpose of it? Like, you just send each other, like, pictures? And Avery was like, no, there's there's also a timeline on it. I was like, so, like, Facebook or Instagram, like, you can scroll through? And she was like, yeah, and then you could have streaks with people where if you send them pictures for so many days in a row, like, if you send pictures for like 190 days in a row, but then you don't send a picture, you break your streak. And I was like, oh my God,
it is the dumbest.
God forbid you would break your picture streak. What? How will you live?
It is the dumbest app. So you're basically sending pictures and videos.
I think we're saying that because we are in our 30s and 40s.
No, I used to have it when it was cool too, when it first came out, and it's so dumb.
So you're essentially, it's just like you're building points to send pictures.
And here's the thing, I get a lot of D-pics. Let me tell you, I have blocked so many people. I don't know if it shows you on that app, but like I have blocked so many because I'll get one. I'm like, oh,
oh my God.
Even like
how
there was one.
Find you?
There was one of a V2.
What?
And yeah, and I was trying to show Justin my freaking bull crap on there, and yeah,
a vagina just popped up. So I'm sorry, I didn't. A vagina is a medical terminology.
Yeah,
so.
I was just trying to keep it PG.
I didn't say kitty cat. Like,
true.
Vagina.
But yeah,
is a technical term.
So it comes up, and I was like, oh, and he's like, oh, that one I would have looked at. I'm like, oh my God.
Hold on. How do people find you? Like, they just like. Is it people you knew that were sending you pictures, or like random people?
I just keep getting requests, and I was just adding them because I was like, well, maybe I can get exposure. Well, because I share the videos from this. I was like, maybe we can get exposure. No. They think it's don't. It's not worth it. Oh, they've already I've had people, because I post our videos, go, who's the hot brunette or brunette? And I was like, she'll pass.
No.
But anyway. Yeah, so, I just stopped adding people at that point because it just, and I don't even look at I have probably 40 Snapchats on there right now that I haven't looked at.
Can we just address this? If there's any gentlemen watching this right now, I'm going to put a disclaimer out for all females. None of us want an unsolicited D-pic. Never. There's no circumstances, whether you think it looks nice or what. I can guarantee you that I am speaking for most women.
Most. I wouldn't say all, but most.
Most women, including us lovely ladies, when we say we do not, under any circumstances, want a picture of any part of your body, but
most definitely not the
specifically that. So please,
I don't even want a picture of my husband's. I can see it in person. It's fine.
What I'm saying is I don't, because obviously in my past I would get stuff like that too, and it'd be like, what? It has never crossed my mind to take
I got two funny situations
of my vajay and just send it out to somebody that I don't know.
I just don't know what people think is cute about a V or a D.
I don't know if, please explain
boobs,
this,
I get.
guys.
Boobs, I get. I even like a nice set of boobs.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. But not that I want anybody to send me boob pictures.
No.
You can send them.
No, don't send them to me either. I looked at enough when I got my boob job.
I'm okay. But I don't know, what is the mindset of men that they think if you, see a picture of them holding themselves or, whatever, you're going to be like, oh, my God, I want that.
I had a dude send it to me one time in Iowa when I lived there, and I passed the phone around the entire bar.
Oh, please.
Because don't send me that. So everyone got to see it, and everyone knew who he was. Yeah, so that was fun. And then there was another time my sister got one, and this is the longest one I've ever seen.
Fylisha!
I was just like, what the heck is that?
And I just scrolled down.
I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. He thought that you wanted that?
That's what I'm saying. That's the understanding that I want. If any men can explain this to us, what is the reasoning behind it? Because for me as a woman, let me speak for myself. I find that attractive in a man that I'm currently in a relationship with, that I have emotional attachment to, where there's like more than the physical. I've never seen anybody's thing and been like, I want to try that. Like for me, there has to be like, I'm not the type of person that is going to like sleep with somebody that I'm not currently like attached to. Right. So you sending me a picture is not going to make me be like,
I've never, like, even my husband, I don't think it's cute.
You're like,
it's not cute. It
buddy.
does the damn job, but it's not cute.
How are you
it's
doing?
It's great, but I don't need a picture.
Like you want to look at it and admire it.
Yeah.
Like you'll do that in person.
I mean, look at an elephant.
That's my question.
Know? There's nothing cute about the elephant
that's
swinging.
my question. Especially, like, if you know a female is in a relationship.
Even worse. And I put married on every single piece of social media I have. It does not matter.
It is mind-boggling why you think that your penile anatomy would be so magical that a female that's in a relationship would be like, oh my God, look at that.
Let me get that.
I'm going to take that for a ride.
Yeah, no.
Forget my man.
What I don't get to is, speaking of like going after people in a relationship, I don't care if you're male or female.
Yeah.
You are a horrible person. I do not care. That's terrible.
If you are well aware that somebody is in a relationship, I don't care if it's like boyfriend, girlfriend, engaged, married, like, and you are actively seeking that person out.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, I'm not saying like if they're interacting with you, that's on them, right? Yeah. Like, if you guys both choose to do that and it breaks up the relationship, like, whatever happens, or you guys are mutually doing that, but just seeking out married or in a relationship people on social media is wrong. Looking at their page, you've never even, spoke to them before, and now you're in their DMs saying, hey, what's up? Like, no.
Yeah.
That's not okay. And I don't care if you're male or female. It's trashy.
I think, like, I'm going to be honest, like, I don't think it's okay. Even if somebody doesn't have their relationship status posted and stuff, maybe you try to have a conversation with them before you go straight in for the kill.
Yeah. Sending the D right away is messed up.
It will get you blocked with a quickness.
Girl,
you will be blocked.
It terrifies me every single time.
You will be blocked with a quickness.
So Snapchat, don't get it. It's stupid, and
I will not engage in that. I literally blocked a college friend of mine a few years ago because he sent me an unsolicited picture, and I have known that person for 20 plus years. And when I opened it up, I was like, "What? Block. Never speak to you again." I don't like. No. Why do you think that's appropriate? I'm sorry. For me, I want to be treated with respect, and I want to be treated like I'm a lady. Yeah. So for you to,
sorry to go down that whole rabbit hole.
That's a whole clip for you guys on D-Pics. So
that's a really bad. We were talking about Snapchat. I was like, how did this even happen?
Okay, this went a whole different direction.
So anyways, unless you want those, don't get Snapchat.
Yeah. Or, I mean,
I'm telling you, it's so bad. And I think here's the funny part. I think people really do think this. I think that they think when they send this stuff that it just disappears. Which it doesn't, because I still
Can't people take a picture of it?
Well, yeah, they can, but it'll tell you if they screenshot it. But like, it's supposed to, like, you send it, they open it, and then it disappears. But how come I get memories from a Snapchat that I had when I lived in Iowa that deleted? I started a new one. I have a new last name, and guess what comes up? Memories from my old one. So tell me that they delete all that stuff. They do not.
Here's an idea. Don't send any pictures.
And if you want to, OnlyFans. People will pay for that.
If you don't want, I think that you should be under the knowledge, call me crazy, that any picture you send to anybody could be seen by anybody.
I'm just telling you, I used to pass it around the bar.
I'm saying, like, I think you have to have a common, like, knowledge and acceptance that if I send this picture of my chest to Joe Schmo, there's a possibility that all of Joe Schmo's coworkers and everybody else are going to see it. So maybe I'm going to be selective on what pictures I send or who I send them to.
Right. I think they look at it like, oh, if I send it to 100 chicks, maybe 10 will get back to me. You know what I mean? Like, that is...
I'm going to go ahead and place a
thing.
bet that if you send a D pic to 100 chicks, you're going to be blocked by at least 94 of them. And
but
the other
6 might get a response.
Might be like, cool.
And one
awesome.
maybe.
Hey, you want to take me to dinner and pay for it?
Don't you think, like, it would be easier if you just asked a girl out on a date than sending that?
I feel like that's the problem, is me being traditional and old head, as like my kids call me, is I feel like there is still protocol to courting somebody. See how old I am? I just use courting for dating.
That was a very, very...
I think that there has to be, like, you want to get to know somebody, like, spend time with them. Like, I'm not in the hookup culture, so that's completely different for me, and I know that that's what a lot of people are interested in now, so I'm not a part of that life. I think that there should be some courting going on. Spend some time with each other, get to know each other.
What's wrong with building a relationship? Why do we make it so, like, you have all of these short-term relationships instead of having a real relationship? I can tell you, I would choose being married to Justin over any other type of relationship. Yeah. Any other I would never.
That's how you know that's your person.
But you never want to go back to dating again.
Yeah,
It sounds like a freaking nightmare.
I mean, some of the stories I hear in here, I'm like,
yeah, I hear enough stuff that I'm just like, nah.
And I'm not going to put this all on the men, because some of the females, I'm actually glad we touched on this. We might have to just, like, clip that and start this as a new one, because I wanted to talk to you about this, because something I have seen so much of recently.
Let's do this.
Yes.
Let's wrap this up and then start that. Okay.
Continue watching, or watch the next episode when we talk
You'll
about...
see this one next week.